Hello there folks, my name is TIJ, or Toby, which is my actual name, and today we are starting a new series. It's the pilot today of a series called Retro Talk. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe for future retro content, as well as course of this. Might be weekly, might be bi-weekly, fortnightly I suppose you could call it. Might be monthly, might be yearly, I don't know how this is going to go. But in this series we're going to be talking about my retro buying habits, what's going on with my retro collection, and also other things related to retro. So let's have a little bit of an introductory video. Again, it's a pilot today, and we're going to be talking about my retro collection already, and my plans for the future of my retro collection. So if you guys want to hear about some of that, make sure to stay tuned. Now, if you didn't know, folks, I am the proud owner of two PlayStation 2 consoles. I own a PlayStation 2 Fat Console, as they were called back in the day. I bought this in February 2017, and it was really on a whim, to be honest. I wasn't too bothered about buying a PS2, and I thought, well, I'll buy one. You know, it was £35. It was the PS2. It came with about 18 games and a controller. Unfortunately, no memory card, but it was a PS2 with 18 games, and it looked like decent value at the time. And for a long time, I played those games, and I was quite happy with it. And I bought some other games to add to the collection. Now, more recently, I've bought another console. I've bought the PS2 Slim console, which actually is the one I use at the moment. I only bought that last month. And that one was, I've got it on my note screen, I think it was £30, and actually if we can get that up one now, well, we won't get it up yet, we'll show you a little bit later what that came with. Unfortunately, I still haven't got the photo of the listing of the first one, but I have got the one of the second one, so you can see exactly what we bought and when. But as I've said before, I own a lot of games for the PlayStation 2. I have in excess of 100 games. I dread to count how much there is. I'm just looking at them now. They're spread across two drawers, and I'd say there's about 100, maybe 110. And I have the Full Buzz series, that's downstairs, as well as about half of the SingStar games for the PS2. But I do use those genuinely for, you know, quiz nights and that sort of thing. So they're well worth having, you know, and using the console for. And, yeah, but like I say, they're downstairs, so I'm not going to show you today. But I've got the Full Buzz selection and collection, and I've also got about half the SingStar games. In terms of the games I'm passionate about, I'm probably passionate about the sports games, the likes of FIFA, etc. And really, just in general sports games, Formula 1, FIFA, at the end of the day, football, Formula 1 and cricket are my three loves when it comes to sport. But I'm also interested in other games, the likes of Grand Theft Auto. In terms of my methods of buying games, I have three main methods, really. The first one is CEX, which we'll touch on in a minute. The second one is eBay, which really my retro collection started with. I bought both of my consoles through there, and also some game bundles at points, and we'll talk about that one a little bit later. And also on Facebook. I haven't actually bought anything on Facebook yet, but Facebook is a brilliant marketplace for this retro stuff. And you can usually get it quite cheap at the moment as well, which is brilliant. And at the moment, I'm just, if I keep looking away, I've basically got my notes screen on the computer, so I don't forget what I'm talking about. But at the moment, I am looking for a few games, and they are, believe it or not, there's a fly there. Piglet's Big Game and Barnyard, but I'm also looking to expand into PS1 collect, and that's something I'm very interested in doing. But before we talk about anything else, I've picked out a few games that I'm really looking forward to playing, so you can kind of get a grasp of my habits when it comes to a retro player. And I say looking forward to playing, I've had some of these games for over a year, but I just haven't had a chance to play them. This first one I have played, and as for you retro guys, it's one that I'd say you probably all heard of. The first game I'm going to pick out, it's The Simpsons Hit and Run. Now, Hit and Run, it's a brilliant game. I did actually do a Let's Play on this on my channel when I first got the game last year, but unfortunately I didn't finish that because the game can get quite infuriating because of the coin system, the need for coins to progress to other missions, and it takes a lot of outside work to actually get to other missions, believe it or not, even though it's a fantastic game. It does come in the Platinum case. I did buy this from CEX. It was probably one of the first games I bought from CX because I knew I wanted this one. And it was about £5 or £6 at the end of the day. This is one of the rarer PS2 games. And it's definitely one of the most popular ones in terms of when it was released. Probably looking back now, I wouldn't have bought it in the Platinum case. The sort of silver Platinum case, which some of these PS2 games are in. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter too much. Of course, the game is still the same in there. And that's what I'm really looking forward to playing because, again, it was one of the best. And the second one, again, is one of the best. Admittedly, I've never played this game. But it's one that I think I picked up on the same day as Simpsons Hit and Run. I'm not 18, though, so I didn't pick this one up, admittedly. Somebody else was, I think, I can't remember who it was. Somebody, one of my friends or somebody in there who is 18, over 18, bought this one for me. This, again, was about £5 or £6, so it was quite an expensive day, this was. Considering how stingy I am, this was about £5 or £6. Again, in very good condition from CEX. Apart from a case which doesn't close properly. If you look at the case, it sort of goes like that. It doesn't click into place. But apart from that, again, the case looks very good. All in good condition. Checking there's no fake CEX case. And yeah, that's the second one. We've got 6 games here, so it won't take too long to get through. Now, one that I'd never heard of before playing the PlayStation 2 in terms of my new retro collection, but one that I really enjoy is this. As I said, I am really passionate about sports games, and this is Athens 2004. Now, again, I'd never heard about this, and funnily enough, one of my friends bought me this from Music Magpie, which is a company I don't particularly like, but nonetheless, fair enough, that's another buying method. Again, one of my friends bought me Athens 2004 for my birthday. I think this one was £1.50 from CEX. And whilst I'd never heard of it before, I'll just keep it in view there, why not? Whilst I'd never heard of it before playing the PS2 in terms of my new retro collection, it was a brilliant game. I gave it a try, and it is genuinely a genuinely fun party game as well as a single-player game as well. Another game is, as I said before, one of my loves is Formula 1, and a massive one that I've in fact just picked up. I have wanted this one ever since I've got the PlayStation 2. This is Formula 1 Career Challenge, developed by EA Sports, and it's the only game, I believe, don't quote me on this, but only Formula 1 game where there's driver transfers, obviously on the PS2, this is the only game with driver transfers, and the only game when you can have 4, it says on here, 4 full seasons, which means basically they're all licensed seasons from 1999 through to 2002, and it's quite an incredible prospect that you can actually drive through those seasons with the drivers changing dynamically, of course, according to what happened in real life. This was sent to me by a good friend of mine, Captain Goodspeed, and a job lot and the games he didn't want out of that. He knew that I wanted this game for a hell of a long time, and in fact, I have got this one on the original Xbox, which hopefully I can get down to here. And I bought this one from CEX. As you can see, the case is very dodgy, as in it's not even attached to the game. And unfortunately, there's a manual in here. I'd never noticed. I bought this one from CEX about 3.5 years ago, actually. One from up in Liverpool. And basically, I found out when I got back it wasn't compatible with Xbox 360. And I was gutted. So, up to the other day, I hadn't had the potential, stuff to play F1 Career Challenge. But I had a go of it the other day, and I really enjoyed about the half an hour I played. But ultimately then, before we have another Platinum title which I picked up the other day, we have Cricket 07. Again, I've said I love sports games, and this is definitely the best cricket game ever made. Again, it's not one I've heard of particularly before playing PS2, but again, my good friend Captain Goodspeed, another big fan of cricket, said to me, look, play this one and you'll really see how good a game it is. And it absolutely is. It's the best cricket game of all time. And it's one that can compete with the cricket games today. I mean, it kind of helps that there aren't many cricket games today, but nonetheless, fantastic game. Now, finally, this is one I'm really looking forward to playing. Again, Platinum casing, but it doesn't really matter. And again, this is the second of the ones bought, well, not bought, but actually sent to me by my good friend Captain Goodspeed. No manual in this one, unfortunately, but that is The Sims. Again, it's a Platinum game. And The Sims is one that I've really just grew up with, to be honest. I have loved The Sims since I was a young lad. I've actually got most of The Sims 2 collection in those drawers back there, but I'm not going to get that out today for the PC. Inherited from my sister. Don't tell her that. But no, I've got most of them from my sister. I love The Sims 3. I loved, in fact, when they put The Sims 3 on the console. That really, I really enjoyed that. But unfortunately, as of late, I haven't really played much of The Sims 4. I have got it on the PC, but I haven't bought it on the console yet. So that might be something I have to do in the future. But this is the first dive I can have when I play this into the official, original Sims game. So that's a few games that I am really interested in playing in, and as I said earlier, I kind of glossed over it, but 2 games I really want at the moment are Piglet's Big Game and Barnyard. Now, you might look and think, why on earth do I want either of those? Well, Barnyard is one of my favourite films when I grew up. You've just got to bear in mind, first off, that I am 17 at the moment. So I was born in 2001, so it's a little bit of a confusing one when it comes to retro, because the PS2 is what I grew up with, however, the Xbox 360 was around by the time I was 5, so it's very much a transitional stage. I played a lot of PS2 and a hell of a lot of Xbox 360 as well. And don't shoot me for this, but I do count Xbox 360 as possibly retro. And as I say, don't shoot me for that, because that's something I want to expand into as well, getting more Xbox 360 games, because there are a hell of a lot of good titles for the Xbox 360. But the PS2 is probably my main console, and as I said before, I'm more stuck into getting into the PS1 stuff. Now, let's have a quick look at the PS1 Slimline, PS2 Slimline I bought the other week. Now, if I can get my mouse on, that would be brilliant. I have got the picture here. Here we go. So, this was $29.99 off eBay. The bid started at £20, and unbelievably, I was the only bidder, but for some reason, my sister bidded me up. Now, this was an absolute bargain, this was. I was really chuffed with this. As you can see, it comes with the PS2 Slimline itself. It's got 3 controllers with all the cables, etc. It also comes with, I can see there, it's probably about 20-25 games. As you can see, another copy of The Simpsons Hit and Run. I don't know where I've placed that because that's not a platinum one, and I'd quite like that actually for the collection. But nonetheless, there's about 20 games there, and particularly the ones I liked were the Buzz games that came with it. All of the Buzz Junior games that were released came with it, and that meant that my collection of Buzz games was complete. So it was really worth it, you know, 20 games, 4 buzzers, 3 controllers, including one wireless one, which I've been using, which is absolutely fantastic. I've got that on my desk. I'll show you that in a minute. It's been absolutely fantastic. As well as a little novelty game, Real Play Golf, with the official golfing stick, which I'm planning to use in one of my Retro Sunday videos in the near future. I'll talk about Retro Sundays in a little while. But as I say, I think I had a real bargain with that. And I was really chuffed with that buying. But since then, which was about the 5th of August, so we are talking nearly a month ago now, I don't think I've bought anything since. And I'm in a little bit of a rut at the moment, whether that be eBay, CEX, and Facebook. I haven't bought anything off Facebook yet, so there's no good me saying Facebook. But eBay and CEX, and I'm a little bit of a rut at the moment. I did go into CEX the other day. I think it was on Thursday or Friday, I think. I went to get some new schoolwear, so naturally I had to pop into CEX whilst I was out. And I bought about 6 games, but admittedly there was about 6 games that I put down and I thought, no, I'm not too bothered about buying these. And my nature of buying games from CEX is that it's 50p or bust. If it's any more than 50p, I'm not interested, and that's just the way I roll. But the games I bought the other day, I'm trying to have a look in my drawer and think what I bought. I bought Pro Evolution Soccer 3, which finished off my Pro Evolution Soccer collection. I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and 6. I also bought the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. I only need the one more game now, and that's that collection done. What else did I buy? I bought X-Men the official game. What else have we got in this drawer down here? I can't remember what else I bought. I've chucked the receipt away. Thrown it away rather. And you can just see the back of me, which is brilliant editing from me, but this series, to be honest, for me is just, well, if it carries on, it's just a bit of a chill series. Me chatting to you, and yeah. I can't think of the other games I bought. That's going to really annoy me. But overall, I've got over 100... Oh, King Kong was another one I bought as well. Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. But apart from that, I can't quite remember. F1 2001 was one. Again, that was another one for the collection. But at the moment, as I say, I am looking for Piglet's Big Game at Barnyard. But as I said, I'm a little bit of a rut at the moment. I've sidetracked a little bit there. And I've been looking on Facebook... sorry, not Facebook. eBay pretty much every day for job lot bundles of games. And I have to say they are increasing in price, which is brilliant as a collector in terms of selling games. But it ain't good for buying games because, you know, everything's getting more expensive. And I'm possibly the stingiest collector you have ever heard of. And what was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say. Basically, the price of pretty much all PS2 bundles now are more than 50p a unit. What I mean by that is if there's 20 games in the bundle, then it's more than £10. And I don't see the point of paying more than £10 because with the amount of games I've got now, there's either a lot of games in the bundle which I've already got / don't want. So it ends up being sort of, if there's 5 games in the bundle I want, it ends up being £2 a game. And to be quite honest, in CEX, possibly, depending on the game, it's cheaper to go and buy the game from CEX. Piglet's Big Game is £1.50 in CEX, and I think Barnyard is £1, but I've been to my CEX local a lot of times, and they haven't got either game. So you're either forced to pay the £1.50 postage, which makes the games £3 and £2.50 respectively, or look for bundles on eBay. And whilst you might say, well, surely then if it's £2 a game, then it's cheaper. I am, as I say, the stingiest buyer of the lot, and I'll try and get it the cheapest I can. And sometimes, as you saw earlier, you stumble across a real good bundle. I mean, those Buzz Junior games are worth quite a lot. I'd say probably £2 or £3 a piece. Particularly, I think it's Dino, Den and Ace Racers. They go for about £10 on eBay, but seeing as they were for my collection, I don't want to sell those. So, you know, that's just me. That's my iPad going off. I should have really turned that off before we start, because I can guarantee that's going to start going off a lot now. But nonetheless, It is tricky at the moment because it seems that the price of stuff is increasing, which makes my job a lot harder as a collector, because whilst I want these games, I also want to get them cheap enough so it's justifiable. And whilst you might say, oh, for Christ's sake, you know, it's only £2-3, does it really matter? Well, I think half the fun, personally, of collecting games is trying to get it for as low a price as possible. And that's just me, personally. And, you know, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I do as a collector. You know, I go and CEX the odd time, and I'm not really looking for specific games. I've got those two specifically, as well as ones to finish the SingStar collection. But I'll look for the odd game. I'll look at a game and think, you know, if it's 50p, I'll pick it up. Or from other games, I won't pick it up. And that's my policy, really, when it comes to collecting. A few other games I'd quite like to have. I'd quite like to have Thief Street 2, because the first one is fantastic. That's probably another game I should have picked out. I'd also like a few of the Need for Speed games. Again, they're ones in CEX that are a little bit more expensive. So if I could get those cheaper, that would be absolutely brilliant. And possibly other games. I'm not quite sure about other games, because I've pretty much got all the Grand Theft Auto games that were released on PS2. I've got a lot of the Formula 1 and FIFA games. Really, for me now, it's about mopping up some of the collections I haven't finished, the likes of FIFA and Formula 1. And then I'll probably move into the likes of the PS1. But I think with the PS1, the games are a bit more expensive. You look at probably £1 a game rather than 50p a game. And CEX only sell the rare ones, so then you're kind of limited to eBay and Facebook, and possibly only eBay for PS1 games, which is a little bit of a shame. But what my plan with this series is that every time I have a retro haul, you know, I buy a lot of retro games, or I go into CEX and buy some games, or I buy retro games in general, I will do a video in this style, and it will come out on a Thursday. So it's not going to be every week, because I don't buy retro games every week. I might buy retro games / consoles 4 times in a month. But that might be, you know, it might be in a week I might buy 4 consoles. Well, not 4 consoles, that's a bit steep. But I might buy 4 items on eBay in a week. But I might not buy anything for the other 3 weeks. So it would be pointless doing this series as and when. I will just do it every Thursday if I buy something. So I'll show you what I've got. I'll show you how much I paid for it. What you guys think, whether it's a good one or not. And really, this series is also made as well, so you guys can share with me in your comments what your retro collections are if you have one. If you want to start a retro collection, where you want, you know, where do I start to make a retro collection? If you want me to make those sorts of videos, then feel free. I've kind of covered it in this video, but I could go into more depth about what's a good bargain on eBay, what's a good bargain in CEX. I am very much limited to PS2 and possibly PS1, because to be honest, going back further than that, you know, I'm only 17, so the consoles older than that aren't of really much value to me. But if you'd like to see, you know, where do I start to collect these games from, feel free to put it down in the comments. And if we get a few of those, I will make a dedicated one of those next week, or wherever I can fit it into the schedule. But just a quick thing before we do finish about Retro Sundays, that is a series on my channel. If you are new to the channel, we play a game which, again, I've collected in my collection for about 20 minutes every week. On a Sunday at 6 PM on the channel. And again, I have about a 20-minute dive into the game, and it gives me a really good opportunity to play at least one of the games I've collected for the PS2 every week and show it to you guys on the channel. So if you aren't subscribed and you're keen on the whole retro scene, then you're going to be getting 2 videos a week. How lucky are you? Are we going to well, that's a lie. Bit of clickbait there. Because this won't be weekly, as I've said before, but some weeks you'll get Retro Sunday, some weeks you'll be lucky and get this and Retro Sunday. So who knows? But again, this is just a pilot. If you guys are not particularly interested, we will leave it there. But if you can get me to sort of about 10 likes perhaps on this video, if you guys are really into this sort of thing, let me down in the comments, because I'll be happy to help you, and you can help me if you wish as well. You know, if you do see perhaps, I don't know, a good bundle with Piglet's Big Gaming and you think it's a good value one, send it me. You know, I'm on Twitter. My name is TobyJones22 at Twitter. Just message me on Twitter. Message me, well, not message me on here, but put the item number or something in the comments here. And of course, I'll really appreciate it. And I'm also willing to help you guys, because retro collecting is one of the most fantastic hobbies that anybody can have. But apart from that, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've been TIJ, and I'll see you guys on whatever Thursday. I doubt it's going to be next Thursday, but it could be whenever, when I've bought a significant amount of retro games, and I want to show them off to you guys. Thank you very much for watching, folks. I've been TIJ. Just a quick one as well, actually, before I go. For the PS1, are there any specific games that you guys think I should be invested in getting, and, you know, ones that I should be looking out for the PS1? Because I'm not quite sure about that yet. There's a few Toy Story games I'm looking at, but apart from that, there's not really anything else. So let me down in the comments if you think there's anything more for the PS1 I can have. But apart from that, I thank you very much for watching this pilot if you've got to this point. And I'll see you guys, fingers crossed, if you guys enjoy next Thursday, on whatever Thursday it might be. Or maybe even now if you watch this like a year in the future and there's like 50 of these. Who knows what will happen in a year, We might not all be here. Right, I don't need to get depressing. But thank you very much for watching, folks. I've been TIJ, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.